Now to major developments in Delphi. The trial delayed for the man charged in the murders of Libby German and Abby Williams.
Yeah, the trial's now been pushed back to October. At a hearing this morning in Fort Wayne, Richard Allen's attorneys asked for 15 days during the trial to present their defense case. The trial was set to start Monday with jury selection, and it was only scheduled for 3 weeks. Well, the judge refused to extend the trial past May 31st. She instead rescheduled it to last for 5 weeks from October 14th through November 15th.
Our Rich Nye was at that hearing this morning in Allen County. He's back now and with our legal analyst, Katie Jackson-Lindsay, to break down today's developments even further. Thanks for being here to both of you.
Yeah, Katie, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
The defense asked for this hearing today. They got it, but they were worried that they would not have enough time to present their case. They said there shouldn't be a hard end to the trial date. How unusual is it, or how often does a judge set these bookends, as they were called in court today, or is it just an estimate of how long the trial might go?
In my more than 15 years of experience and having worked on both sides of a criminal case, it's pretty unusual to get a hard stop date. What you typically find is that the court will estimate or will overestimate and inform the jury that the trial may take, let's say, 5 weeks when the court actually expects 4 weeks, just to give yourself a little bit of cushion and room for a delay. So that hard stop date was a bit unusual in my experience.
So the defense could not get the 15 days they wanted for presenting their case. So they said, okay, we will waive Richard Allen's right to a speedy trial. Give us the first date you can. What are the implications of waiving that right to a speedy trial?
Well, the first implication is that deadline that Mr. Allen had, that hard stop date for him for when the state had to bring the case to trial, or he would have to be released, that is now gone away. And so they can at any point reinstate that request, and that time would start ticking again. But as of now, there's no longer that deadline for him.
Some contentious exchanges again today in court between the judge and the defense. Can these two sides actually get along when we actually get to a trial?
Well, I think they have to. I think we shouldn't be looking at it as two sides being the court and the defense. The two sides should be the parties, right? The state of Indiana versus Richard Allen, and the judge should be neutral. And I think that we have seen this contentious relationship, but I think that our rules of professional conduct will prevail. Our professional responsibilities as attorneys and as a judge will prevail. And I think that we'll find that they'll be able to put it aside and get this case to trial and get through an efficient trial.
And Katie, quickly, we have 3 days of hearings coming up now in Delphi starting May 21st. What might we learn at these hearings?
Well, what we should get at least is a preview of the evidence that we expect to see at trial. A lot of these outstanding motions that have been filed by both parties in the past week relate to evidentiary boundaries. And so we should hear some rulings on those requests made by either party, and it'll give the parties an opportunity to truly prepare, because they'll know what the court's going to allow, what the court's not going to allow. And even though those are just preliminary rulings that have to be challenged later, it at least will be a preview of what we should be expecting to see and what each side wants to present.
Katie Jackson-Lindsay, thank you very much. I'm sure we'll see more filings again as well. But now the trial more than 5 months away in October.